Nick, the guy that just left, said he's kind of following you around, literally. Has he gotten on your nerves yet, or what do you think of McGarry so far?
Not yet. It's only been a couple weeks. I think he's got a great attitude, which is most important, and well, he's got the ability is probably most important, but he's got a great attitude also. I think he's going to have a really good career. He's just trying to do the work every day, and that's what it takes.
Nick, back for another season. The grizzled veteran that you are, talk about your off-season, how that was, how your health is, and then what you think of this group. Is this the one that can get a championship to Oklahoma City?
My off-season went well. It was a short off-season, which is a good thing because we played so late. I had my knee scoped in June, so a lot of my summer was rehabbing from that. I've been able to be on the court the last month and a half. I feel really good about where I'm at basketball-wise and health-wise. I think our team is in a similar place it's been the last few years. We've got to continue to work on the details that are going to help us win, and then we have to be able to do it. So there's each year we come in here, I think we feel like we've got a good chance to win it. I think we feel that way this year, but there's other teams that feel the same way. So it'll come down to how we play.
Nick, what are some of your goals just for this team kind of on a day-to-day basis as opposed to looking 9 months down the line?
Well, I think that's a good goal, is to not always look 9 months down the line. I think having the goal to win a championship it is good to always have that in the back of your mind, that this is what we're working towards, but you can't get too bogged down with that because there's a lot of work to do before that opportunity comes. So I'd like for us to really enjoy the process of doing the work every day, and just trying to get our team, try to evaluate how are we playing today, what's our level of play at today, and try to have as many good days we have, and then when we have bad days, try to correct that. So I think that takes being honest with yourself as a player. Sometimes you can have wins where you don't play as well, and you can let yourself off the hook. So I think that's something that we have to fight, especially the veteran guys, because we know we've been here before, and so it's a similar mindset we've had around here, but we just want to continue to do that and try to do things the right way.
Yeah, Nick, I was just going to ask the monotony of an 82-game season when you're playing for a championship. So let me rephrase it, and there's been a lot of talk from Coach Brooks about ball movement and more passing with the offense. Does that remain a goal, and how do you guys become more of a movement offense as opposed to some of the one-on-one that you guys have had? Yeah,
that's a huge part of what we're trying to do, and that's where the process starting tomorrow, we can get better at that. And it's not just a willingness to pass the ball, but it's a lot of the details at the beginning of the possession, running early to your spots, the timing of the offense, because the teams that move the ball well, they execute well, so the passes are obvious passes. Guys are open because they've created some sort of action that's drawn help. So there's a lot of things that go into that, and we've come a long way in our passing, and we still have a ways to go. But that's a big part of what we need to do to get better.
What's fair to expect from Steven Adams this season, given his talent level and the experience he got in the playoffs last year?
Yeah, he did a great job with us last year. He had a really good rookie year, and I think for him, he's probably his comfort level is going to be so much higher, and he's going to just be ready to play basketball, where as a rookie it takes so long to just feel comfortable. So I think we'll see big things out of him, and never want to put too much pressure on someone, but he played really well, and he's done the work this summer, and I expect him to have a good year. He's going to help us.
Last year, your contract right now, I mean, do you think about the future at all? I know you haven't really faced contract years a lot.
Mm-hmm. I think everyone you think about the future, but I think one thing I've learned over the years is you can't really ask yourself an unanswerable question. That's someone told me that once, and I think that's a good way to look at it. There's really no way to know what's going to happen. So what you can't control is how you work every day, and go from there. But it's nice to be a little more mature and a little later in life to not have to worry so much about that day to day. So for me, I'm in a good place with it. I know that I'm comfortable with who I am as a player, and we'll see how the year goes, and we'll see what happens.
after the All-Star game last year, it seemed like there were a lot of games where the first thing out of a coach's mind or the team's mind, we didn't have a defensive mentality tonight, didn't play very good defense. How do you get that back? Is it a personnel deal, or how do you get it back?
I think it's a little bit of what I was talking about earlier of not letting yourselves off the hook. I think we have the ability to win games when we don't play as well defensively, but we can't be happy with that. I think we have to be honest with ourselves, and like I said, where's our level of play at, and that's, you know, defensive on the defensive end is a huge part of that. We can't rely on our ability to bail us out of games in the regular season. So I'd like to see just a more consistent level of play on that end, because we need to realize that it's important to us to play that way, because that's what we're going to need to do later in the season. So for us, we need to take ownership of that as players and not accept slippage in that area.
Nick, you've known Durant as long as anybody in this organization. I was just wondering, when he stepped away from Team USA and you go back to losing Russ in the playoffs, the load he carried throughout the year, and then the playoffs this year, I mean, it was a grueling, however time period that is. Were you glad to see him take that step away? Did you feel like he needed to take a step away from basketball for a little bit?
Well, I was glad to see him make the decision he felt like he needed to do. If he felt that he needed to step away, then I was glad that he was able to make that decision, because I know it was a tough decision. So yeah, I think for us as our team, I think it's a positive that those guys are coming in fresh, and I think Russell he's had his first summer in a couple of years now where he hasn't been recovering from an injury, and he hasn't been playing all summer. So I think that's good, and hopefully that'll be an advantage for us.
You talked about Mitch earlier. You've obviously been practicing a little bit with him. Do you see him as a guy who can come in right away, kind of like Steven did last year, and crack the rotation? Well, he's got ability for sure, and like I said, I think he's got a good mindset as a rookie. But there's things he'll have to pick up, defensively particularly. That's always seems to be the biggest adjustment, is the coverages, being able to communicate, figuring out how to play without fouling. There's a lot of things that's really hard as a young player. So, he'll probably have an opportunity, and it'll be up to him and see how he adjusts to everything. And obviously, as always, up to coach and what he wants to do. Steven has a track record of fouling. I have a track record of fouling also, so I can't really talk. So we'll see. We haven't really, tomorrow's the first day, so pickup games are one thing, but training camp's a whole different ballgame.
Nick, what have you seen so far? What do you know of Anthony Morrow, and what do you think he'll bring to the team?
Well, I've played against Anthony for a few years, and is as much of a knockdown shooter as there is. And when you defend him, you always have to be aware where he's at, and guys are always concerned about him, and it's hard for you to do your help responsibilities when you always mentally, I know as a defender, sometimes it's hard because you have a game plan and guys want to get away for him when there's a shooter like that on the floor. So I think he'll be great for us. And again, like, I've gotten to know him a little bit, and he seems to have he's right in line with the rest of our guys and thinking the right way about the game and what we're trying to do here. So I think he's going to be great for us.